Tell people what happened.
I wanted you to do it again.
Oh no, I'm not doing it again.
Oh my God.
I don't have it in me.
Are you even sure it's working now?
Yeah.
We've done what, 10 minutes already? It was probably more than that. We did 10, 20 minutes.
What a terrible way to start off 2018.
I know. Like, you really bummed me out. This is like that episode of Friends where Phoebe gives Joey the happiest dog on earth to cheer him up. And when Phoebe comes back to the apartment, he has depressed the dog, and the dog is no longer the happiest dog in the world.
You know what?
And I'm the dog in the scenario.
We deserve this. This is what happens when we try to do too much of a structured show.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Welcome to 2018.
That was your idea.
No, it wasn't. You're lying.
Before we started, you said, I've got something. I've got a way to start.
I did
the
not
episode.
say that.
You
You're lying.
literally said that.
Nope. No one will ever know.
So we did like 10 or 20 minutes, and we were having good conversation. Jay looks up and realizes
10 minutes. That's an exaggeration.
Jay realizes that he's only recording his input, so I wasn't involved at all. I know that's how we want Sight and Sound to be, but it can't be the case because I have some fans. So,
hey, at least I figured it out before we finished the podcast.
Yeah, thank God. But this goes back to something I've talked about in 2017.
You know what? You've done this before. You have to check your driver every 20 minutes.
Yeah,
you
but
check
it's never like too. I just do it because I'm paranoid.
I know.
Every time we open what is this, GarageBand here? Every time you open GarageBand, you have to act as if
it's not true.
Are the settings not preset? I don't get it.
No, what happened? So we recorded an after party prior to this, and it was 2 hours long. You'll get that later this week. And when I mix down our inputs, I have to switch it from stereo to mono. So when I started this new one, I forgot to start a new stereo track. Is all that it was. So take a chill pill.
Well, even so, maybe that's the specific example. But in 2017, there were many times where I made the joke that it was if we had to completely learn how to use GarageBand again. That's at least how it looks from my perspective.
Yeah, I haven't.
When you're like, oh yeah, we got to change this.
I haven't recorded multiple albums on the platform.
Welcome to Sight and Sound 2018. Jay did something completely out of character on the round one, and it was this what do you call it, a shock jock kind of approach, and I was making animal noises, and we were going nuts, and now the world will never hear it, and I'm never going to be able to get you to do that again.
You know what, though? I can actually keep it in because it was my input. Maybe I'm just going to drop it in like right here. Okay, we're back.
and then I just went. So
yeah, you can kind of hear you in the background because you.
I was so loud.
You know what's funny? Who was it? Who was I talking? Oh, Brando. Brando accused you of doing the same thing Mark Ellis does, that you're constantly performing for people in person. He said, yeah, Ryan Snelling thinks he's always doing a show for somebody. He just comes in, hey, everybody, how's it going? I'm Ryan Snelling.
He's right.
I know he is. I agree.
If you ask Eric knows that I think I'm in a movie. I think I'm in a TV show.
Yeah.
I often barge in to my house like Kramer, swing open the door just so people will look at me and laugh or get a reaction. I do that. And actually, this goes back to the conversation we were just having on round one. We were talking about comedians and cars.
Here we go with this again. I thought I got away from this.
That was a great conversation, and that's the conversation we need to redo.
Ugh.
We'll talk about it. So, I was watching Comedians and Cars today, and it was him and John Oliver. And the reason why I'm gravitated to that type of content, I love watching comedians talk because I feel like I relate to them more than most people that I'm around, especially in Kentucky.
I like podcasts too.
They said something about how they will even fabricate. Jerry Seinfeld, is that who you are?
It is 2018.
What
Absolutely.
is that? Burping on the mic? I don't even hear you burp in general.
Yeah.
What's happening?
New year, new me.
Anyway,
trying to be funny in 2018. I got away from it last year.
The Nickelodeon approach yet again that comes up. instead of being loud for comedy, now it's burping and flatulence.
Zany.
Yeah. So, no, Jerry Seinfeld said something about how it took his wife years to understand that the jokes he claimed were about his wife weren't real.
Right, of course.
Because he just is saying things that are put together for a laugh.
Yeah.
And I do that. I will rearrange things that actually happen because I think it makes them funnier, and I will tweet them.
It's called lying.
Yeah. I will do it just to make someone laugh because I care so much about entertaining someone.
Ryan Snelling's a liar. That's what you can take away from
a
Sound
perfect example of this. I tweeted out the dialogue of the tweet was a conversation between me and you about that California song you sent me. California
you
Heaven.
Tweeted about me?
And
Jacquoy.
I tweaked the conversation that we had and made it a little bit funnier just for the sake of Twitter. I don't know.
I wasn't privy to this.
Well,
if you're gonna talk about me, you gotta tell
I'm gonna
me.
beat you to the punch, and Jay's gonna finish with, I don't read your Twitter.
I mean, I do sometimes, but I get on Twitter once every like 2 or 3 days.
I get on Twitter maybe twice every hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a social media that I frequent like
I understand.
consistently.
I understand. Round one, we were talking about the fact that prior to this, we recorded an after party, but an after party will come out later.
I said that already
for everybody. Oh, you did clarify that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we talked about catering to new listeners in 2018. If you are a new listener,
Please.
welcome. We'd love to have you here in 2018. Join the Facebook group, link in the description. So what were we talking about?
Or don't. That's fine too. What?
We were talking about we got to Bright somehow, and then
I don't even want to revisit all that. I don't like living in the past. Talk about something else.
It's like 10 minutes ago. The past.
Yeah, I know. Did you have a New Year's resolution? We talked on after party what our goals are.
The cliche, like, I want to get healthier. I've been going to the gym more because my sister's in town from college.
Right.
And so we've been going to the gym and working out together. So that's been good. I hope I stick with it. I want to be shredded.
Oh,
here in about 6 months.
I saved I gave my whole breakdown of my vacation. I actually had a Starbucks take that I wanted to save for Sight and Sound Weekly. You ready for this?
Okay.
Fascinating thing that I discovered while on vacation. When you go to Starbucks out of Kentucky, you come back with no Starbucks stories. Hey, Kentucky Starbucks, do better. Everywhere else is fine.
Yeah.
You suck.
Starbucks is, I said on an after show, they've been doing better because I'm getting hot drinks.
I had no issues while in Florida.
I go to Starbucks a lot less because I can make coffee at home.
Yeah.
And I typically do. But there are certain drinks that I still can't make, and I don't want to make a cafe mocha. I don't feel like going through all that effort. I'll go get one. And
anything with steamed milk.
That it's working for me, the cafe mochas. I'm drinking a lot of them. Tried a cafe latte, thought it was terrible.
Well, cafe latte, if you just say that, it's not going to have any sugar in it. You can have a cafe latte with pumps of something in it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just got espresso and milk.
They don't tell you that. That's why I was a few years ago. That's why I was always intimidated.
Are you not using the app? We've talked about this.
I don't want that. I don't want to do it. That's more of a reason for them to fuck it up because it's open to interpretation.
Not necessarily. And it's not already?
I guess apparently it's both.
It's not already?
But I trust it more when I say it because then I can be like, hey, I said this. And as opposed to accidentally hitting light cream when I wanted heavy or that kind of fuck up, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fuck up what I'm saying because they repeat it back to me and then I clarify, yes.
Can I keep giving my Starbucks tip of the week on After Schmo if it's in the middle of the episode? I'm going to keep doing it because Christian Harloff never gets on me about anything. So I'm just going to see.
Well, I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to ignore him in general.
I think you should.
Until he realizes that I'm ignoring him.
I think you should.
And then it'll force him to talk to me and then I will just let it all out.
Yeah.
That's where I lost you.
Yeah, I think you should just keep doing it.
Just ignore him.
Yeah, just do it. He ignores you.
That was so sweet. Thank you, Jay. That was nice.
I mean, I was joking, but anyways, hopefully everybody had a fantastic holiday season.
Well, back to my New Year's resolutions.
Oh yeah.
My Starbucks today. What the? I went through your drive-through here,
They're closed.
and it was closed at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
I don't know. They have a mind of their own. That Starbucks.
I hate it. I hate this. I went by my Kroger in my hometown, and they're putting up a new building over there. I wanted it. I just wanted to be a Dunkin' Donuts.
Really?
That's
a mistake.
I have only heard. Well, for one, I want a donut place. We have a donut place, but it's kind of far away. It's downtown. I don't want to go downtown at 5 a.m. to get donuts. You have a Dough Daddy's here.
Yeah.
Not good?
It's good. It's okay. Depends on what you enjoy about donuts.
You don't need donuts?
I like donuts. If donuts are available, I'll eat them. I don't actively pursue them, though.
I would love to get some donuts. But at the same time, I've heard nothing but great things about Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
All those people are idiots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't Luke like Dunkin' Donuts?
I rest my case. I'm just kidding.
My mom's boyfriend. He's a DEA agent. He's a cop. He knows fucking donuts and coffee better than anyone on the planet. He is a cop, Jay. And you're going to say that he's an idiot?
Yeah, he didn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Figure it out.
There you go. I've never had it, so I can't really say. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Go to Lexington, get IHOP or Dunkin' Donuts.
Get IHOP? Oh, yeah, you're going to do that?
Well, I would go to Lexington for IHOP, but not Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. I mean, the Starbucks in Florida, it was fine. I had no issues with it. My New Year's resolution, I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I do set goals for myself, which are completely different.
Sure.
I did challenge people on my music show to, and on the Facebook group as well, and I'll ask you the same thing. I want everybody to challenge themselves and their music listening habits in 2018 by figuring out and finding a music genre that they are intrigued by, that they think that they should spend more time with. Last year, for me, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into rock music, and it was a really enjoyable year, and it was represented on my album of the year list. I listened to and sought out many rock bands and artists that I would have probably ignored if I hadn't have made that decision. If you had one music genre that is intriguing to you, that you think that you could spend a little bit more time with, maybe dive a little bit deeper on, what music genre?
None.
Just none of them. You're not even going to entertain me.
No. I mean,
EDM.
No. There's only two genres for me. Hip hop and rock, and hip hop.
What about just pop music?
Hip hop is the obvious. No. I have to listen to top 40 all day, every day at work.
That's not true. I mean, you listen to like alternative pop music that just isn't played on the radio.
I would like to hear.
Genre of pop music still exists.
I mean, I kind of listened to a little bit of everything already. That there's not a genre that I don't. I'm spread so thin between all genres. I don't know. I mean, the easy answer, the uninteresting answer is hip hop, just because I want to have a clear, definitive favorite hip hop artist.
Drake.
Eminem came out. What? He's not. I mean, I like Drake. I like Drake a lot, but I don't like him when he does this kind of thing. And Eminem came out and was disappointing.
You're not a passion fruit fan. Or you might be. But...
No, I am a passion fruit fan.
Okay.
That album just kind of, I don't know. I don't have any particular opinion on it.
You got 22 songs for you to make up your mind.
Yeah. He zigs when I want him to zag.
Okay, fair enough. I get that.
So I just don't have a clear favorite hip hop artist. And maybe that's what I'm looking for this year. I can make that a little bit more of an interesting answer for you. Because even Logic, I love that album last year, or Run the Jewels, but it didn't make me want to go back and listen to the older albums. I'm not becoming a Logic fan. I'm more of a fan of that album per se. Right. So I'm just not excited enough.
You're waiting for the Mike Shinoda album to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Linkin Park will be out with another album soon.
I don't think so.
I think
Cycle's kind of wacky for that.
I think that
a single I could back.
Okay,
but
I was gonna say because I was surprised to see Shinoda had already written and like publicly made that one. He played that song during the tribute.
Yeah,
and then he posted like an Instagram video a couple weeks after that concert of him like writing it and recording it.
Right.
So, a single maybe like a side project, like something that's not supposed to be Linkin Park or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe that's the better way to go about it. Because right now, Luke Jaggers is screaming, "There's no fucking way Linkin Park is coming out with an album."
Yeah, I think I just think, especially because they're a band that has so much production value, anyways, within their music. Just the timetable, a year, especially after that other album came out. I don't know if the album cycles. I could be proven wrong.
I mean, the only thing, it's not even about. It's not even about the fact
I would love if they did.
It's not even about the fact that they just had an album come out for me. I think the thing that would take me away from that idea is we're still so close to Chester leaving us. So that would be the thing I'd be more concerned about. But like I said, Mike got to writing and maybe it'll inspire an album.
You want me to bum you out right now?
Sure.
It would be more likely right now for Linkin Park to release a new album in 2018 than it would be for Bring Me the Horizon 2.
Which is weird because Bring Me the Horizon is the one that everyone's waiting for.
They should have an album out this year, but there has not been one peep of an album.
Yeah.
Like the most recent thing they did was Ollie Sykes and Jordan Fish climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Great.
Yeah.
Get back in the fucking studio.
Yeah. I haven't even seen them like taking pictures around musical instruments lately. And especially for the music that they make. They're a band that takes a lot of time, it seems like, to put their music together.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But
tell people why we're here today.
Well, we're here, Jay, because we're excited about 2018.
We are.
And we are looking not to the past, but to the future.
Yeah.
And it's going to be not so much a preview of 2018, but we want to make this this is a list of what we are anticipating. Us as in Jay Williams, what Jay Williams is looking forward to the most, what I'm looking forward to the most. And I'm trying to make my list a little bit more personal. I'm not just going to rattle off what everyone is expecting me to say.
Oh, mine's 100% personal. I don't give a fuck.
Nobody's going to know. This reminds me, I was invited. You asked me, because you were invited as well, to participate in our favorite albums list on Take 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I got that invite.
We're going to answer Evan DeGraff here on the podcast. I'm not going to message him back, and neither should you. If he asks again, we'll say, we answered that question. Did you not listen to Sight and Sound Weekly this week? I don't think he listens to us. I think he just participates in the group.
Maybe.
Do you think there's others out there that don't listen to us, but they're relying on the Sight and Sound group because it's the new Schmoville?
Maybe. But, and honestly, I'm okay with that.
I'm not. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm okay. So, like, Ryan, you think Josh Sudduth is listening to everything that we do?
I don't think he listens to everything. I don't expect everybody to listen to everything.
He might come in.
They just need to listen to something.
At least listen to fucking Weekly.
Yeah. Or listen to Jay's music show. I mean, that's
that's not the obvious. Like, that's not the.
It's clearly the one. It's the one that's going to take us to success. I mean,
music on YouTube is what's going to catapult us.
Of course.
If you wanted your music show to catapult you, and this is going to be something that I know you already disagree with and you won't change, if you wanted your music podcast to take off, you should change how you title it and make it, and you would title it, or at least include one of the new releases.
I'd be on board with that.
Instead of just being like,
I'd be on board with that.
One of your episodes was music. We need to talk. ... And I was like, oh, come on. Somebody had put out an album at least.
Well, like, you remember in fairness, I list out all the artists in the description.
Yeah, I know.
Especially, I'll tell you where that helps. Did you know if you search for certain artists on iTunes, our podcast pops up?
I was going to say, do you remember when you did your More Life preview? That is one of our most successful podcast episodes, period.
Right.
in a very obvious way, which is good.
By the way,
and you kind of learned that about in the Galaxy too. Prove that as well.
If you search for the weekends, first of all, let me just say this: went back and looked at some In the Galaxy stats. I don't want to tell you about them because it would make you sad. There are some. I don't know why.
Are they huge?
Yes, and I don't know why. And what I mean is just like it's crazy because for those that don't know, that podcast specifically does music reviews as podcasts, and when you search for it for certain albums on iTunes, those podcasts come up as well. So,
well, all the more reason for you to do that.
Absolutely.
And I try my best to do that as well. For my stuff, and same with TV recaps. I mean, we pretty much just put the name of the show, and that's the title of our podcast. But anyway, at first I didn't even know. It just sounded like you were sucking air. I was like, "There's no way you're getting anything out of that." Why?
I don't know. I just want to vape on the podcast.
You know what we didn't talk about on After Party?
What?
We talked about it in the Facebook Live group or Facebook group live video that we did earlier. I think you wanted to. No, you wanted to talk to me about that girl.
Oh no.
Yes, you did.
I was just trying to make you uncomfortable.
We weren't in front of anybody.
Ryan potentially.
I don't want to talk about it.
Let me just say this. Ryan potentially could do something he's never done while we've been friends. And that is place someone of the opposite sex in between himself and Sight and Sound.
That's not true.
It could be.
That's such a
I'm just saying.
It's such a premature claim.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in love with someone who's been in love with you back?
I don't know. Probably not.
What a weird statement. I don't mean that in a mean way.
No, it's fine. Yeah. At the time, I was told that they love me back.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, I don't think that was the truth in like that they knew in the real sense of the word love that they love me. Does that make sense?
Just for hashtag transparency, you've actually never met this person yet. So
yeah, that's why I'm fine with generally talking about it. But
yeah, of course.
There's just no reason to do specifics.
I like how you're the one that brought this up, and now you're trying to.
Well, I brought it up because I told her about vaping. And you vaping is what brought that up because we were talking about it in the video that we had already brought that up to people in 2018, and it was one of the worst experiences that you've had so far.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, just because of your reaction the first time, and now I'm going to continue doing it.
People don't like it.
You don't know that. That's what I thought about your. That's what I thought about your silence.
Put it on the poll. I'm bringing the polls back. You're gonna have to.
I think you should. I was never not on board with that. I just didn't participate it.
But you have to.
I didn't participate it with the enthusiasm that you expected me to.
It has to be a thing for the show
and it should be. I thought it was successful. I thought it was great. So now more than ever, now that we have a whole Facebook group to help support it.
It's true. So should it be Facebook group poll or should we do a Twitter poll and make them?
I think it should be both.
Follow us on Twitter.
No, I think it should be both.
But the only problem with that is we're doing it a lot mid-show. So you're going to lose me for about 5 minutes when I create polls on both Twitter and Facebook.
I think I think you create one poll, but just post in the Facebook group that we're doing it to make sure that they're being redirected.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
That's one other goal I have this year too, is figure out some sort of way to incorporate our listener base more into the show somehow, not just with polls, but
we bring them up and name drop them plenty.
But I'm thinking of like some really interesting ways that I've never seen people do things before, like incorporate people in some sort of content where they are sending us video reactions via social media.
Okay, so their followers see them talking to us?
No.
Okay.
Imagine a video DM to give a reaction about something.
Okay.
To where we can utilize it on air somehow.
I'd also be open to
probably on YouTube, not a podcast.
I would also be open to, and this might only work if our audience is bigger, only because I don't know if we have enough people to sustain this idea. But I like what Nerdist does at the top of their show. They do like a community corkboard, and if Kevin Marks had some kind of cause that he wanted people to be aware of, then we could share a link or something like that. Maybe a fundraising thing, something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. But we don't have enough people that follow us to probably sustain that idea. But I think that would be kind of interesting and help.
We are marching to 200. I don't know why I say marching every time we're building up something. Not only 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but also 200 followers in the Facebook group, that's the crazier thing to me. Like 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think
I thought it was going to be crazy if we got 20 people in the Facebook group.
It's not that I'm not surprised and shocked and grateful for the group, but just because I'm familiar with a lot of those people and I've grown closer to a lot of those people, there's less shock value to it. There's way more mystery and a lot more curiosity to who the fuck those 1,000 subscribers are.
To me, there's only about 30 people in the Facebook group that are actually actively participating.
Yeah.
Is that a safe thing to say?
Sure.
Who are the rest of the other people?
But the ratio on YouTube, it's a bigger number. Like,
yeah, but the YouTube,
I don't know the 150 people in the Facebook group.
You see that,
but I don't know the 900 in our YouTube channel.
But you see that trend across all of YouTube, though. Like massive numbers of people, and the people that are watching video to video are way smaller.
Right, and I usually like to go with the 10%. Right. So I don't see 90 people commenting on every video that we do.
Right. No, I feel you.
Like I guarantee
Brando watching Rogue One. Yeah, sorry.
There's no way that
he must be watching Star Wars films in chronological order.
He is.
I didn't know that. Let's get into what we're here to do today, because I don't want this to turn into a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah. We only wanted to do that for 10 minutes.
Tell people what we're doing.
Did I already do this here?
No.
Or was it on the old version?
I think you did do.
Okay, so anyway, it's 2018. We're excited about it. Jay and I are going to talk about our own personal lists, the things that we are excited about.
Top fives, because we don't do top 10s here.
Top fives. Music, movies, and television.
Top five.
And I wanted my list to be a little bit more interesting, so I didn't want to go with the obvious. I do have a couple of obvious ones, but I wanted to talk. I also wanted to bring up things that I'm excited about that you might not know about, and that particularly get me going. That's all I got. You were pressuring me to continue talking while you were vaping.
What we're doing is we're doing our top 5 most anticipated music, movies, and television of 2018.
Keep going. Keep repeating what I just said. Keep going.
Let me just
word for word.
Let's just do this. We kind of talked about this on After Party a little bit, but we did our pop culture crown. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that episode. Got some great plays on that, both on SK Plus as well as podcast feed.
What a great episode.
Really cool. It was a really fun episode. Intriguing. And and I want to ask you first, I want to preview what we think that list is going to be this year before we get into our most anticipated. How are you foreseeing a ranking this year?
For the crown?
Yeah.
2018. I'm going to go movies, TV, music.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm not giving music the benefit of the doubt is because, to your point, we always know the least about it.
That's right.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So I have no gauge. I am excited about actually anticipating music for the first time in a long time.
Which is kind of crazy because so much, like already this year, we've gotten so many big news stories early. The Justin Timberlake album announcement and the single, the Kendrick Lamar Black Panther stuff, and also the Coachella announcement.
Black Panther album might be album of the year.
It could be. You never know. It's more like a playlist. But
sure.
Yeah, I said this on
more life.
I said this on After Party, but I think this year is movies, year to lose. Like, if movies, for whatever reason, came in last, it would be a huge disappointment. For me, music is number 2, and TV, which is a shocker. TV is the thing that I'm probably the least excited for this year, because so many shows that we liked from last year either are A, not coming back, B, were standalone sort of seasons of shows, or they were shows that were supposed to be standalones and ended up getting a second season that I didn't necessarily want. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm excited about Big Little Lies 2. I'm intrigued by it, but I would have been totally fine with just one season. I don't even think I want a 13 Reasons Why second season.
Oh God, I know.
Not that we're that we're getting it this year. I think
we are.
I don't know if we're getting it this year or not, but
I think it's ready or getting ready.
No Game of Thrones this year.
No Stranger Things.
No Stranger Things.
The only show that is coming back that we know of, to my knowledge, is Mr. Robot. We'll have season 4 in the fall, but other than that, there's nothing. What?
I said punt.
Oh. Are we gonna do movies first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. I do have some. Actually, have some. What are they called? Honorable mentions. And I think we did this.
I wish I'd known.
Sorry,
it's cheating.
That's your loss, dog.
You were the one that told me to reduce it to 5.
And I did, but I do have some honorable mentions. This is different than we did last year, because I think last year you just did your movie list. I did my music list, and then we together did a comparative sort of top 5 TV, but we each have our own top 5s.
We at least do that for like we've done like summer shows, like previewed summer and done it that way.
Yeah. Let's get into it. How do you want me to start with the movies? Give you my number 5?
In 2018, we're actually going to change things up. This year, Jay is going to be the movie guy.
That's right.
I'm going to be the music guy. That means we're both in charge of our own programming. I'm in charge of music.
Absolute tragedy. For so many reasons. My number 5, Mission Impossible 6.
Same.
Oh, wait. Actually, hang on. Let me tell you my 2. I'm going to tell you my 2 honorable mentions. Annihilation. Super excited for that movie. To me, I loved Ex Machina.
Punt.
Okay. My other honorable mention is, I guess this is the title of the movie, but God Particle, the new Clover.
Punt.
Okay. Yeah. Number 5, Mission Impossible 6.
Same.
Let's talk about it.
This is one of my favorite film franchises.
Me too, as of like last year.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of everything J.J. Abrams. You guys know that. So the fact that he sort of kickstarted this franchise, it was the first movie he ever directed was MI3, and from that point on, that he took a backseat, produced that franchise, and is still producing it now with Tom Cruise. But there's just so much energy and so much fun to that franchise, and I love it purely just to see what Tom Cruise does as far as topping himself with stunts. I mean, they have some of the most fun stunt sequences in those movies, but they're lighter than, say, a James Bond. And, we saw James Bond not work, and we saw Kingsman not work, but MI6 should be on the same plane as all of the other films, while still adding Henry Cavill to the cast, which is cool.
I was about to say,
that's cool.
I want to know what was so great about that goddamn mustache that he had to have the, have it fucking CGI'd out of Justice League.
The thing about Henry Cavill is the first time in
only. Is that how we're saying it, or are we saying it Cavill?
I don't know. Cavill.
I like Cavill.
I think it is. I think it is Cavill. But anyway, I only had seen him in Man of Steel at the time that had come out, and I didn't really think anything of him as my Superman. He was nothing to me until I saw Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I don't particularly care for that movie that much, but he stole the show and showed me how great of an actor he is. And he played a secret agent in that. I'm excited to see him join Tom Cruise and go toe-to-toe with him and be able to do that. And
he's the new Jeremy Renner.
I hope not. I hope he shines.
Jeremy Renner
movie.
is the worst part of the Mission Impossible movies. He's even worse than Mission Impossible 2.
I hope he shines in this movie. I can't wait to see him go toe to toe, and just to be more accessible to everybody, because a lot of people are so mixed on his Superman, or at least his Superman movies and appearances. I feel like he deserves something like this. Man from U.N.C.L.E. didn't perform well.
Yeah.
I want to see him do well, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I pretty much echo almost every single thing that you've said, except for the fact that Rebecca Ferguson is, she is bae. She's
great.
Hands down the best part of Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
That was yeah. And,
do you remember the conversation we had about Rebecca Ferguson with Kayla? Because we were
Yes,
sexist because we.
All right, we're off of that. Anyways, Rogue Nation. Not a huge fan of that Mission Impossible. Fine, it's fine. Rogue Nation though.
Oh
wait, which one? Which one was the last one? Which one
you
was
just
5?
said
which one was 5?
Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol, love it.
Or no, Rogue Nation was 5. Ghost Protocol was 4.
Ghost Protocol, not a massive fan of it. Probably my second to least favorite Mission Impossible film.
Wow.
My ranking goes. Which one is 5?
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation is my favorite.
On your list is you're anticipating 6.
I know.
5 was before 6.
5 is my number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is MI1.
Where
no.
the fuck is MI3?
3.
Oh my God. I think 3 might be the best one. You know why?
Critics wouldn't agree with that.
No, but it's still up there.
Yeah. It's a fun movie.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Great.
One of the best action villains, period.
Do not
of
say
this decade.
do not say he's the best villain in a Mission Impossible movie.
Why isn't he?
I mean, there's only one option for this.
Who?
What's his name? From
No. You've already lost me. You don't even know who it is.
I forget his name.
From which movie?
What's his name?
Okay, very good.
Bring me. What's his name? Why am I forgetting the South African?
The guy in
name?
Rogue Nation?
What's the South African guy's name?
I don't remember, but he's not the best villain.
The guy, I know. I'm trying to make a joke and I ruined it. What's his name from fucking
Sharlto Copley?
Bring me Sharlto Copley.
We have this inside joke, and it's one of my favorite inside jokes because the villain in Rogue Nation is from South Africa.
Yeah. And all white South African people are interchangeable.
The joke is that the only business that guy could have is with Sharlto Copley. The other South, and I love this premise that this world terrorist needs to have a sit down with Sharlto Copley.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Bring me Sharlto Copley.
It's one of my favorite things that we've come up with. You've come up with and we've stuck with. But anyway. Can we stop talking about Mission Impossible?
Yeah, please.
We've already
move on.
It's
what's your number 4?
Completely discombobulated. Annihilation. Ex Machina was actually tied for my favorite movie of 2015.
Please.
I'm so excited to see what's next from this director.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac coming back to work with him.
Maybe in a smaller role.
Yeah. I want to be a fan of Natalie Portman again.
Where's this coming from? So I just talked to somebody tonight that was like, I'm not a big Natalie Portman fan.
I wasn't a fan of Black Swan.
It's fine.
I saw it in theaters and it just didn't connect with me. I actually left the theater not caring for it at all.
Wow.
And I still don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She's done most of the stuff she does. I guess I haven't really been into. Like I didn't see the Jackie Onassis movie she did last year.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I want to like her, and I just like the idea of this film existing in general.
I mean, Annihilation to me looks like the Alien and Predator movies that we deserve. Even though we have a Predator movie coming out this year, it looks fucking great, man.
It also reminds me a lot in tone of like Arrival. Something like that.
Maybe a little bit more action packed.
It has that feel to me.
Yeah.
And
Are you familiar with these books at all?
No.
I I'm super intrigued by them. Saw one and Joseph Betham sort of reading the back of it. It just seems like a really cool premise, man.
Yeah.
Super cool premise.
I'm also like, even though my two most anticipated films of this year are going to be comic book films, my favorite films of 2017 were comic book films, and I want a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
So I made sure to throw
a fresh property. Yeah.
I wanted to throw in a couple of these on my list too, because I want to, instead of thinking about, I was happy to think about Wonder Woman all year, but I want something a little more unique to be the film I really take away.
That's actually
a lot from.
That's a great point you're bringing up, because this book series, it's not something everybody's talking about as a bestseller, but it's a trilogy of books. And if this is something that can be pulled off on this first one, and it can be a commercial success, a financial success, then how awesome would that be if we just had the birth of a new, a new franchise like this that's not superhero based, not Star Wars based.
If Sicario can spawn a sequel, which is one of the most baffling things to me,
and it also looks kind of good.
I think it looks excellent. Yeah. And I'm not saying anything bad about Sicario, because I don't have anything badly to say at all about Sicario. I think it's, for whatever reason, I just think it's wild that a movie like that can spawn a sequel in this current movie landscape.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, okay, I get it. But now, and this might be a problem.
Be like Dunkirk getting a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would.
I
and
know.
that's strange.
It's hard enough for Christopher
weird.
Nolan. Yeah. Christopher Nolan is already an anomaly for the fact that his movies do so well in general.
Yeah.
That his name carries them financially. But yeah, the fact that, I mean, not even fucking Denis Villeneuve couldn't really do that.
That might be a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a problem if our movie landscape is so unaccepting of that idea, at least in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of how Trainspotting had a random sequel.
Yeah, well, that had that cult following.
It was a lot smaller of a film.
Fucking Blade Runner can't even do it.
I was like, what? I was like, really, a sequel to Trainspotting?
Even Planet of the Apes. I mean, you see the downward trajectory financially
that's not
the franchise did. It's not as much of a fall from grace, but you know what I mean.
You're just making a separate point.
You
essentially just brought up a second point, because
I'm saying that. I mean, I've always said this. This is a whole separate topic, but I've always said that the death nail for things that aren't comic book properties, aren't Star Wars properties, that have multiple sequels or trilogies, is the time between them, because we're so used to getting connective tissue multiple times a year from these properties. I think that's why they have the financial support from one another. But because there's these yearly gaps between Planet of the Apes,
which is weird, because I think there was more of a gap between Rise and Dawn than there was Dawn and War.
Well, and there was a financial fall off, was there not? Well, that's not necessarily true. Was there a fall off?
No, you're speaking to the opposite of my point.
That's right.
I think there was a larger gap between Rise and Dawn, but that was the larger financial climb, right? Because Dawn killed it at the box office.
Well, and that makes more sense, because the first one was sort of a surprise anyways, that it was as good as it was.
Yeah. And the whole movie's in the trailer.
Right. That's true. Let's move on. My number 4 is purely based on intrigue alone. It's Han Solo. Right now, the thing that is carrying my intrigue of this movie is the fact that I don't know a goddamn thing about it. And also, I love Donald Glover. Those are the only really two things. I have a lot of high hopes for it. Like, I really, really do. I actually defended this movie. Somebody in our group maybe was talking about, oh, the film's going to be bad. It's obviously going to be bad. And I'm just like, or no, I'll tell you what it was. It was this news story that came out that people were saying that it was going to be a failure financially and critically. And I just said, yeah, but didn't we hear the same thing about Wonder Woman, and look how that turned out? I mean,
that was me who posted the link.
But regardless,
I didn't agree. But
just because there's negative things out there about the film doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. And I hope that people would go into it and give it the benefit of the doubt to begin with.
So notice I didn't punt.
Right. You'll still be in the theater opening weekend to see it.
Yes. This is purely because there has been nothing to get excited about yet.
Of course. Except for
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Emilia Clarke. Like,
yeah.
I want to see the film.
Yeah.
I will be there to see the film, no matter what. They haven't even released a fucking poster.
Right. There was that graphic that looked kind of poopy. It looked like a video game graphic.
I don't need to talk about like when they should have put out the trailer. They just haven't even put out a fucking poster.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah.
And we're what, 4 months out, 5 months out. I have no reason to get excited for it aside from Star Wars.
Right.
I have more of a reason to get excited for these other films. So I'm not anticipating a bad film. I'm not going in with that attitude. There's just nothing in front of me. There's nothing in front of me. And that's the only reason why I left it off. If I wanted to, if I made a top 10 list, it would probably be on the top 10, but
not in your 5.
No.
I'm not trying to rush you along. I have to pee. So what's your number 3?
God Particle.
Amazing.
Listen,
real quick. Our J.J. Abrams love is unparalleled, and it's something that we share in. I thought 10 Cloverfield Lane was really fucking good.
It is.
I didn't see it in the theaters, but I did get to see it at home, and I thought it was great. I love this idea, and I wish they would honestly be a little bit more prolific with it. I wish there was a Cloverfield anthology film every year.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough is actually talked about the fact
I think it'll get to that point.
It needs to be talked about more. It should be a TV show.
Oh,
wait, it already is. It's called Black Mirror.
Yeah. I think it'll get to that point. Actually, I think God Particle has been pushed back a couple times. Its original intent was to come back a year, or last year, I think.
Right.
To my knowledge.
I heard they changed the name. Is that a thing?
It's always been God Particle, at least for the past year or so.
Right.
It might have had its title change.
I also love the premise. Do you know much about the Large Hadron Collider at all?
No, not really.
The Large Hadron Collider, this thing that's trying to find the God particle is fascinating. And well, there's hints of it in Mr. Robot, but
spoilers.
The premise behind it is the fact that this machine that exists on our planet could potentially open up portals into other dimensions.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating. I have no idea if that's what this movie's going to be about, but that's intriguing to me.
This is purely because I love the Cloverfield franchise as it exists, but also just love the idea of it so much.
Yeah.
And sort of where it became, and it's funny because it got criticism for it, even though this is just how movies are fucking made. But it was just a spec script that JJ and company looked at and were like, okay, let's put the sci-fi twist on it.
It's on brand. Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just always fucking do that? And it's also great for up and coming writers.
They've
find these spec scripts, give it a tweak.
Yeah.
And
they've kind of
give them a film.
They've kind of low key created their own Blumhouse without
in a way
ever trying to.
In a sense. And like Dan Trachtenberg, I remember watching his Portal short film and he you look a lot like Dan Trachtenberg.
Oh, yeah?
He crushed.
Must be a good-looking guy.
He crushed 10 Cloverfield Lane. And I don't know what his next project is. I don't know where the hell he went because he killed it. But the idea, what's in place as far as the idea of what Cloverfield is and what it could be and the potential there, I just love it. And I want it to surprise me in the same way that Cloverfield surprised me, in the same way that 10 Cloverfield Lane surprised me. I'm ready for another one of these, and just give it to me.
I have to piss really hard, so I'm going to speak relatively short about my next one. My number 2 is Deadpool 2. Do you have a punt there? Okay. It's Deadpool 2, and
it would probably be my number 6 before people freak out.
Listen. I had a great time with Deadpool 1, and I think it's a really, really fucking good movie, and everybody killed it, whatever. The best thing about this, the thing that I'm most excited to see is Cable in this film, because Cable is one of, if not my favorite X-Men character. Josh Brolin as Deadpool is super exciting, but the Deadpool Cable comic book. Did I say Josh Brolin as Deadpool? I meant
yes.
Josh Brolin as Cable.
You did.
the Deadpool and Cable comic is fantastic. I mean, it is a great sort of buddy cop style comic book, and it's funny, and Cable could unlock so much. The key to bringing over any sort of X-Men to riding the ship with X-Men in the MCU is through Cable.
Sure.
And that's exciting to me. That's fucking cool.
Or any MCU character like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but
100%. Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
It's
Time travel is...
It's how you get X-23 and more involved, even though she's from the...
Absolutely.
She's in the things like that. Deadpool 2 would probably be my number 6. What can I say? I'm really anticipating this film, but just not in my top 5.
All right, what's your number 2?
Oh, I thought you were going to take a pee here.
No, we can wrap this up.
Oh,
Let's
very
just,
good.
Be hasty about it.
Black Panther.
Oh, shit. I accidentally deleted my number 2 there. Yeah, that's my number 2 as well.
What can I say? I mean, I'm looking forward to the soundtrack. I don't ever really say that about movies. This movie looks dope. I love Coogler. I love Chadwick Boseman. I love Michael B. Jordan. I love how weird and crazy this movie looks.
I'm not going to say it looks like the freshest entry in the MCU by any means. It definitely looks different.
The aesthetic of it does, and we talked about this earlier.
It just looks like a lot of fun.
It does. And I love the idea that it's black as night. Like, they are coming out of the gates. They are making a fucking statement with this movie, having a mainly all black cast, and people are going to protest the shit out of it for that reason, and they're not going to give a fuck because they're going to just fucking slay.
But not just
at the box office.
Not just that, but they're going an even step further by letting whoever greenlit it. I'm sure it had to do with Ryan Coogler. I'm sure it had to do with even probably Kevin Feige to a certain extent. But the fact that they are giving Kendrick Lamar not only the space to do this, to curate the soundtrack for this film, but the fact that they got Kendrick Lamar, who's not only one of the most iconic names in not just rap and hip hop music, but music in general, and the fact that it's relevant to the times. It's relevant to the culture right now.
I think Coogler 100% asked for Kendrick to be on.
I'm sure.
And I mean, like, this movie's also coming out during Black History Month. Like, every single thing about this movie is a statement.
Yeah.
And I think it primarily comes from, I mean, obviously Feige chose to make the movie, and Ava DuVernay was originally attached before Coogler. But I think everything about this is a statement from Coogler, and the MCU is welcoming everything, it seems.
I'm going to make a statement right now. I think I'm going to predict that this is going to be the highest grossing debut MCU film
since
ever.
What was the last one? Was it Guardians, maybe?
Highest grossing?
Debut
film, okay.
Yeah. As far as I know, it was Guardians.
Not even Iron Man 1?
I don't know.
But I think it's definitely going. I think it's going to shatter that record because it's culturally appealing to an entire group of people that probably typically wouldn't have been.
You know what's nuts? Black Panther is going to do better than Solo.
Oh, 100%. There's no doubt about that.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To me. But it's going to work.
Yeah. To think that, I mean, well, I guess the big question is it going to break Spider-Man Homecoming? I think it will.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming was no doubt successful, but I can't remember if the box office was that impressive as far as
like a 120
blowing open the doors. I don't remember exactly.
I think this thing gets close to 200.
Really?
I really do. Yeah.
I'm going to say I want to say 145.
Really? I'm going to say 170.
That's like Beauty and the Beast numbers.
I'm telling you, man, you have to think about the fact that
it's February too. I think that this will get close to beating Deadpool's February record.
Yeah. No other MCU movie had an all-black cast to appeal to an all-black audience.
Sure.
Also didn't have the push of Kendrick fucking Lamar behind it as well.
Regardless, it's going to just destroy.
Yeah. All right. What's your, what are we on? We're on number 1. What's your number 1?
Infinity War.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, this is what I've been waiting for.
This is true event movie territory.
And it's so easy to forget that where we were like in 2010 and 2011 when we were talking about the Avengers, just the idea of that existing was completely unheard of.
Yeah.
The Avengers was in 2012, 6 years ago, was totally one of a kind, totally unique in the way that it brought characters from a bunch of movies together in one. And it was a team-up movie.
And it worked.
That had never, ever happened.
You hear that, Justice League? It worked.
That had never, ever happened in the existence of cinema. And here we are with the third entry, and we're getting the villain that was teased in that movie 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And it looks like a lot of fun. It has every character that we know and love in it. And it looks like there's actual consequence. And it's just, I mean, seeing Spider-Man in that trailer is just still unreal to me. And we already
seeing Winter Soldier in the trailer is awesome.
We've already had that moment too, right? We already had a moment where Spider-Man comes in at the Civil War trailer and steals Cap's shield, but it's like, it's just obviously number 1.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to be everything that we've ever wanted and more, probably.
Yeah, and it's just going to be once again, unlike anything we've ever had in cinema history.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it. You know what else I'm hyped for?
P-break?
Yeah, really bad.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back. The Sight and Sound YouTube page is the place to be. We always appreciate you checking out all the content we put out here on our podcast feed, but there is a ton of supplementary content in addition to what we talk about here. I'm over there doing album reviews for all the latest album releases. Ryan has you covered with movie news, reactions, and reviews. And from time to time, we even do television reactions in addition to original content that honestly is just meant to entertain you. Go to the description box of this podcast, click the link for the YouTube channel, and subscribe for even more Sight and Sound goodness. All right, the pee break. It's over. Thank God. I had to just absolutely unload my bladder.
We've been podcasting for so long tonight that I have that thing. What is it? Dry rot. What is it?
What are you talking about?
Where I talk, the voice changes.
You have vocal fry?
Dry rub. Yeah.
Okay. Dry rub. All right. Let's get into some music life here. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, but I just took them off.
Okay.
They were Don Broco.
Really? Honorable mention.
Yeah, because I love the idea of them so much. They saved music for me. Don Broco's Automatic, their full-length album. That album has a lot of bangers.
Yeah.
Super Love, You Want to Know, Money, Power, Fame, Automatic. A lot of great songs. Don Broco, that album is a great album for anybody. They've come out with a couple singles since, and I assume that they're going to be on the new album.
Right.
The new album's called Technology. They're not better than anything on that album for me, but I like them okay to where I'm still anticipating one of my favorite band's new album, and hopefully I can. I felt that way about the New Balance album.
Yeah.
Because I wanted just another one of those.
R.I.P.
And got something, yeah. So it took me a while to get on board with Light We Made, but eventually I did.
Right. Seeing them live helped.
I think so. So I'm hoping for a similar, if anything, I can maybe learn to love this new record, but I haven't been incredibly high on it. I just really, really like the band. And the other one was just a joke because there are a couple of bands that are coming back from my past.
Yeah.
And as a joke, I put Conditions.
Okay.
Hopefully, Conditions comes back and puts out an album.
Yeah, for me, some honorable mentions. I'm excited to hear it potentially. I haven't heard a peep about this, but a new Weekend album. It seems like just the trajectory, the album cycle that he's on. Be excited to hear what he's got in store next. The new Teenage Wrist album. It's a band that I've been super high on. I couldn't tell enough people about them. Just got signed to Epitaph Records. They put out a single towards the end of last year. Looking forward to hearing this new album. It comes out in February, I think. The Plot News, their album, which I'm sure we'll talk about. The new Pianos Become the Teeth album also comes out in February. Super, super excited for that. New Def Heaven album in 2018, and of course the new Drake project that comes out. Did not make my top 5 list because sort of not exciting to anticipate a Drake album because he comes out with one every single year, and for the most part they're pretty good. All right, let's get into it. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is something I'm unsure of.
Okay, most things probably are,
but Oh Sleeper.
Okay.
Oh Sleeper has sort of been teasing even back to
for a couple of years, right?
A while.
Yeah.
There was originally a time when, and this was after their last full-length Children of Fire, which is maybe 2011, several years back. They were teasing, they had to do a crowdfunding campaign. And the point of that was that they were going to do a crowdfunding campaign and then record and release 2 EPs.
Yeah.
They came out with an EP. 5-song EP about a year later, and that second EP just never happened, and then they just disappeared. Last year, they put out a song. It's called Oxygen, and it sucked.
Okay.
And it sucked.
Yeah.
Do you not remember me being like, what the hell is this? Because it happened.
No, I've never really cared much for that band anyways. So.
But I didn't like it. It's one of my least favorite Oh Sleeper songs, period.
Yeah.
But I love that band so much, album to album to album. I've liked everything that they've done up until that one song. So I'm hoping that that's just the outlier. I've been waiting for them to come back for years, and I think 2018 is. I think they've, 100% declared that it's going to happen. I just don't know when exactly. So I'm ready for it, and it's one of my favorite metal bands. I think it's an accessible metal band for anyone who's curious. Fun fact, my friend Sturgill got into heavier music by the band Oh Sleeper, and I wouldn't even call them a transition band. So if anyone's curious, you can check out their back catalog.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it if it does come out for sure. Number 5 on my list is the new album from Active Child. Active Child's Mercy. It's actually behind me right here. That album was my album of the year that it came out in 2015. Sort of on that same level as Sampha for me, sort of similar style, alternative R&B vibes, sort of very unique artist, very unique voice. It's a man whose voice sounds like Cher from time to time. He also plays the harp. So, but his music is just very thought-provoking, very interesting sounding. Put out a single late last year. It was on an Adult Swim compilation that was fantastic called Cruel World. Yeah, looking forward to hearing his album in 2018. What's your number 4?
Under Oath.
Okay. Personal take on this, I think in 2018 we will get a single from them. I don't think we would get an album, but I could be wrong. That's just me.
Sure.
Pure speculation, but continue.
Sure. No, they were the band that defined the genre that I could define the Great Line.
Pun intended.
It just kind of goes without saying that I'm extremely curious to know what this sounds like.
Yeah.
It's the original lineup as far as, vocally.
The original lineup that most people wouldn't know them
it's
from.
It's the popular lineup back together.
Yes.
Aaron
Gillespie,
Aaron Gillespie,
in the band.
Spencer. Spencer's okay, yeah, but I don't know, man. It could be a cheesy sitcom reunion where they had no business coming back together, or where they had no place, or they could have some kind of relevance
No, they first of all
they can bring. Look, I think that that genre has been kind of stale for a long time. I think it would be a really interesting story.
Yeah.
If Under Oath brought it back again.
I mean, they could.
And for them to do that for me, I just want a fun album. I don't need the best Under Oath album.
Right.
I want it to be a different Under Oath album.
Yeah.
But I don't need it. I want it to be just a fun listen more than anything. And that will have been enough for me.
Yeah. Other prediction that I have of it, I think when we do get it, it will be the most accessible Under Oath album we've ever gotten.
Okay.
Even more so probably than They're Only Chasing Safety.
Because they're older, maybe?
No, I think they're more commercial than they've ever been from a business standpoint. For those that don't know, this band essentially broke up and came back like 2 or 3 years later. It was sort of a weird thing that they even did that. But they've spent the last 2 years, essentially, they did an anniversary tour on They're Only Chasing Safety and To Find the Great Line. And then last year they toured with Bring Me the Fucking Horizon, which was a massive tour. This year, their tour schedule, they're not just playing every single major rock music festival. They are one of the top billed artists next to bands like Alice in Chains and fucking like just the biggest rock bands you could even think of. They're still a huge draw.
Yes.
If they were to release an album this year or next year, I think they would shock people in the same way that Brand New did when they surprise released their album and it went number 1 on the Billboard charts. I think they could easily do something like that.
I agree.
Massive, massive band. Would be a massive statement for rock music in general. Number 4 on my list is the new 1975 album that will be coming out this year. They've been teasing with a single and they've just put out a live album. Such a fantastic band. They make such great pop music, such great alternative pop music. Everything that they do is not only catchy, but it sounds interesting. And, just you can listen to a 1975 album and always know what's going on, but also never know what's going on. They're a band, if people have just missed out on their whole trajectory over the last 5 years and you've never heard them and you like pop music or accessible music, you're going to have a lot of fun with the 1975. They're a band that is very tongue-in-cheek. Their songs get stuck in your head, and I'm anxious to see what they do next.
Don't have a whole lot there.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with them.
They're a band that if you spent time with them, you would absolutely love, especially being a fan of Don Broco.
Really?
They do not bring the same rock vibe that Don Broco does, but everything that Don Broco is, you could probably pull from the 1975 outside of the hard rock.
I feel like I've been shown songs in music videos, and sometimes music videos ruin songs for me.
You probably hear songs from them and be like, I've heard this before. Yeah.
I feel like I've been shown songs, but none of them have really stuck to me, but at least I think I have an idea of who that is.
Massive band.
Yeah.
FIFA soundtrack band.
Okay. Yeah. I have an idea of what they're like. I will spend more time with them this year. That way we can dive deep into that album.
Number 3 for you.
This is more of a speculation again. 21 Pilots.
Ooh, great pick. Absolutely.
Their last album was 2015. They're due for one.
Massive band.
I listened to a lot.
Really?
Of 21 Pilots this past year.
You and Ash Crossan.
And in 2017, I listened to a lot. In fact, I listened to their most recent album, that 2015 album, front to back.
So good.
Lot. And I don't fucking do that ever.
Yeah.
21 Pilots is my favorite mainstream band.
Can we go see them live together?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't even know you were into them that much.
I just love them. And
do you know how fun it would have been for you to go to that concert with me when I saw them, Snoop Dogg, Brand New before they were Tainted and Manchester Orchestra?
I'm late to the party, but I remember when they debuted. Can't remember the name of the song, but it's
Car Radio?
Yes. When they debuted Car Radio on the
great song.
Was it the VMAs or something? They had this killer performance on MTV 3 or 4 years. It was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. when that song was new, and it floored me. I had no idea who they were. Saw them completely out of context, and they blew me away. And that doesn't happen often.
Probably one of the biggest bands on planet Earth right now.
Yeah.
2 kids.
Yeah.
From Ohio.
Crazy.
Speaking of 21 Pilots, their label mates, a band that you might be interested in that has an album coming out this year. It's the new Basement album.
Really?
I am so
That's
fucking
awesome.
Hyped for a new Basement
They would have
album.
been on my list if I had known. I didn't know that they had one coming out.
They've been working on a new album, recording it. First of all, the fact that this band put out such a fantastic album that honestly isn't doing anything that you've never heard before. Their last album, Promise Everything, was drums, bass, guitar, and vocals, but it was so well written, so catchy.
Just a good groove album too.
Great band. I mean, they're a band that blends so many different traditional rock genres, from grunge to emo to pop punk to just punk in general, and now signed to Fueled by Ramen Records, a massive record label. Super excited for what they have next. It's a very respected band and a great band to just sort of like really likable guys from England. Like, just seem like really cool dudes that just have fun.
I feel like I need them to fill a void if we're not going to get balance anymore.
Yeah,
because I'm really going to miss balance and composure.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping that they're not done. But in the meantime, a band like Basement could definitely help out with that.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
Why did it go away? I should know. Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay. I hope to God. I said this in our group text with Luke, that if Bring Me the Horizon and Under Oath come out with albums in the same year, it would send shockwaves through music.
Yeah.
It really, really would.
Same situation as 21 Pilots. It's been since 2015 since they put out their last album. And we talked a lot about That's the Spirit. I mean, it's sort of the go-to album when it comes to, like, what's your favorite or most impressive or most important album in that genre right now. And
I'd say one of the most important, like, rock bands around.
It also still kind of feels new.
It really does.
In a weird way, in the fact that, like,
they put out that live album with the
orchestral stuff. For an album that's 3 years old, it doesn't feel old, as in, like, I'm not tired of it or anything. Like, it still just feels like a relevant album, as weird as that sounds. But it's due to the fact that we continue to see this evolution. And I'm curious, does the evolution continue, or are they going to
album to album?
Well, I mean, I would be fine.
Absolutely.
If they still pulled from their last few albums and maybe gave us just kind of another That's the Spirit.
Right.
And I would be totally cool with that.
Yeah.
Because if that's the kind of band I think they found their thing, as far as, doing what they want to do, as far as being mature musicians at this point in their careers. Yeah. I think they kind of found that a sweet spot. And so I wouldn't mind another album that's similar to that sound. But again, they have been prolific, and maybe they will change it up. And
they're a band.
It's exciting,
much like Under Oath was back in the day, and it didn't really start until Sempiternal. But they're a band that essentially put out an album that would shape what other bands in the genre would start to copy going forward. And that's a lot of pressure to put on people's shoulders, but so many bands today are just now getting on board with what they introduced with That's the Spirit. Personally, I want an album that's full of songs like Doomed. And I mean, this is a band that makes insanely accessible, aggressive rock music, but it's just laced with so many interesting ideas and factors in it. And to anybody that would be critical of how highly we speak of this band, I mean, I will take you to task any day on some of the nuances that this band incorporates into their music. And you can say what you will about Ollie Sykes and how produced his vocals are, but who fucking cares? It's 2018. Give it the picture.
I'm done with live music. I only care about...
Yeah, who cares? Yeah. My number 2, a new album from Frank Ocean. He's teased it. He's said it's done. He said it's in the bag. He's ready to release it, which is crazy to think about, considering that he was kind of the butt of a bunch of jokes a few years ago because of teasing the follow-up to Channel Orange. if he puts out an album this year, he will have put out 3 albums in 3 years. And last year, we didn't even have an album from him. He is so much on this huge wave of just being in the zeitgeist. And he did it in one of my favorite ways that he could have done it. He went silent for 5 years, and then put out 2 albums. And then he put out only singles last year. And then this year, he's probably going to have another album. And it's just so exciting because Frank Ocean is on this weird like Radiohead trend right now where he's making music that is incredibly, incredibly commercially successful, but it has no business being that way. It has no business being liked by as many people as it does because it's so challenging. It's so weird and just different. And nothing that he wants he has no business being famous. Like, he doesn't want to be famous. Well, maybe he does want to be famous.
Who's he, Shia LaBeouf?
I take that back. I think he wants to be famous, but it's 2018. He's a massive star. Nobody knows anything about him. He's just completely off. He's like,
he's gay.
He's gay. He is gay. He's like the person that shall not be named on SK Plus of music. Yeah. I can't wait for another Frank Ocean thing. Sitting there looking at my $500 hoodie right now. That's up on eBay right now for buy now for like $400. That hoodie that's right there.
You put it up for $400? Why are you saying it's $500?
Because it's other people are selling it for $500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What's your number one? I already know what it is, but go ahead.
You don't, because I actually forgot an album, so I have to quickly just throw out 2 albums.
So you're doing a top 6?
Yeah, but it was on accident.
Okay, go ahead.
I forgot to include Architects.
Punt.
Also the plot.
How dare you?
Also the plot in You.
Yeah.
The plot in You was originally my number 1.
I left it off of my top 5 because I have a weird feeling about it.
Because of that second song?
No, that's not what it is. If all the songs were like those first 2 songs, then yeah, I'm be totally down. But I have a weird feeling that they're going to do a bait and switch, and the rest of the album is going to be the shitty music that they've always put out. Sorry, Luke Jaggers.
I don't know.
It sucks. The rest.
Why
of
would they put out 2 like that though? It's okay. I think it's essentially the same song. I think the second one is just clearly not as good. I like
it. I just think it's not quite as accessible.
I'm not saying it's bad. I didn't get nearly as excited for it as it is. Actually, I've kind of listened to it. I've kind of forgotten it, honestly. Maybe I need to spend more time with it.
I feel like it'll be better on the whole album.
Sure.
If it's good.
Sure.
Listen,
look, every other band that I have on my list is a band in my comfort zone. Yeah. I haven't listened to The Plot in You before. They were a band I didn't give a shit about until this album came out. So I'm in the dark.
I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt here. If every single song on this album is not what they've already promised us, then in my opinion, they've fallen short.
Okay.
Because if they give us 8 songs like this and 2 are like the shitty things that they've done in the past, I won't accept that. I need them to do a hard shift because of what
I agree.
They've given us here. I mean, they have promised us so much.
Yeah.
And they need to deliver on it.
I agree.
My number 1 album that I'm anticipating this year is Architects.
That's weird. I never would have guessed that would have been your number 1. I think that I like this band a whole lot more than you do.
I've liked this band for so long.
I'm not saying you haven't liked them. I think that I could see why you might have a problem with them doing the same thing over and over again.
They've fallen cold on me. Yeah, a little bit. But with that being said, they're incredible at what they do.
Yes.
First of all our gods have abandoned us, even though it is still a to be expected album, still fucking delivered. Oh my God, that album is good. Even though I'm still bored of what they're sort of doing. However, Doomsday, not only is that an amazing song, and it does signify a shift. The more I thought about that song, the higher it went up on my singles list because they are pushing themselves. They're challenging their listener base. They're becoming better at what they're doing and better songwriters, but they're not completely abandoning their fan base.
Right.
They're still delivering what that song still sounds like an Architect song, but it still sounds so exciting.
Yes.
And this band is just, they're so incredibly talented, and they're faced with such a tough task that I'm anticipating to see if they can pull it off. And for those that don't know, we talked about them before, but their guitar player and main songwriter passed away from cancer, and the song Doomsday was the first, even though he did help, or he had written some of the song.
He's also the drummer's brother.
That's right, twin brother. And they finished the song, but they still proved that they can do it. And I think this is a very important time in their career. And I think that this album, if they pull it off, because they're not completely abandoning their fan base, and because they could be appealing to a whole new fan base, just what they promised with the song Doomsday, I feel like it can be so important for the genre of rock music. I'm excited for it, man.
Architect's vocalist is the best metal vocalist that we have.
I agree.
For anyone who's listening to this and doesn't know anything about it, and they're curious, their vocalist is the most impressive and best metal vocalist out there.
I agree. His vocal range, and Brando sort of would debate this with us, just what he's capable of pulling off. He says that he doesn't feel like he's capable of doing the screaming. He has a really high singing range. I mean,
he does.
Like it's ridiculous.
He clearly does it when you watch his live videos.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Brando contests?
Yeah. He was worried if whether or not he could pull it off night after night, and
he does.
I've never not seen him do it.
I know.
I've never seen him stumble once.
He kills it.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my most anticipated.
That's cool.
I don't see the need to take a break. Do you?
No.
You want to go on into television?
I'm purposefully putting my obvious largest answers in my honorable mentions.
I have no honorable mentions here.
My top 5 are going to be shows that are debuting for the very first time.
Okay.
And
only 2 of those are on my list.
Most people might not even have heard of these. So, my honorable mentions are Legion Season 2.
Punt.
Atlanta Season 2.
Punt. How dare you?
Mr. Robot Season 4.
Punt.
Okay.
How dare you? What the hell is wrong with you?
I want to talk about 5 shows that nobody's talking about.
You are a crazy man.
Why?
I don't know.
You're going to talk about them? You're going to talk about them. Let me talk about 5 other shows.
You didn't even finish, Mr. Robot.
I'm done with 2017, Jay.
Dude. Okay. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
You want me to go?
I'll start.
Okay.
5, American Crime Story, the assassination of Giovanni Versace.
No, Johnny Versace.
Gianni.
It's not.
It's Gianni Versace.
Not Giovanni. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's on my list, but I didn't rank them. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
We both love People vs. OJ.
Yeah. American Crime Story. I mean, come on. Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Outside of that, the fact that it has to do with fashion, that's cool. Listen, I'm going to be honest. This list, not super hot on it in general.
Okay.
My television.
It's still early, though.
I know,
but it's similar to music in that if you look this up, we only know about through April definitely what's coming out.
I know, but last year was so much about surprises that it's hard for me to fathom that I could get that again. But I could be wrong. I hope to be proved wrong.
I don't know if this is off topic, but I don't know if like we're supposed to expect Mindhunter season 2, like that kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know.
TV's a little bit like music. It's like it's sort of hard to.
It depends.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's also just so much. But
I don't think we're getting a show like the OA and next year. I think they're filming it this year for 2019. I can't remember exactly, but TV's a little bit more like
it's
that.
Difficult, yeah.
But anyway, no, I know next to nothing about this story, and I watched like a promo or like some kind of preview for it on YouTube. And learned a lot more about it just based off that. I was also really intrigued by Ricky Martin being in it too. I thought that was pretty cool. But no, I just want another People vs. OJ repeat.
Same.
And I want I'm excited for like more of an education as far as the story goes. I mean, I didn't know a whole lot about the OJ trial, to be honest. I knew just pretty much the basic facts.
Right.
I just want another show in that style with great acting. People vs. OJ showed me brand new actors that I really got excited about, and it gave me performances from OG actors that sort of reinvigorated. Like John Travolta, I don't know what he's doing now, but he was more interesting because of that show. So yeah. Anyway, I want the People vs. OJ effect to happen again, and I could not be more excited for. I didn't see Betty Joan. Did you watch Betty Joan or whatever it was? I don't know. It didn't intrigue me. I don't know I don't know anything about those actresses, and I know that goes against everything I just said here because I don't know a whole lot about. This
well,
either.
We're sort of riding high just in general on the. We're just riding high on the.
But it's
People
about
versus OJ stuff.
It's about the crime, whereas Betty Joan was just a Hollywood feud, but it wasn't a crime thing.
And the execution of the show in general. But
yeah.
What's your number 5?
Castle Rock. Castle Rock is on Hulu.
Production company. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's an upcoming show on Hulu. That Castle Rock is a town that's used frequently in Stephen King's novels.
Yes, and
it's going to be a melting pot of Stephen King stories.
That's fun. Yeah.
And characters are going to interact with each other and
Anthology?
things like that. Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I think it's a series that just kind of brings a bunch of wacky characters together. That's how I understand it. Maybe I need to look that up before Kevin Marks corrects me. That's how I understood it when it came out. But I would assume that
you didn't call me out for my burp. You're getting used to it. That's good.
I would assume that that's the case because Castle Rock is used in so many stories.
Right.
Sort of like Once Upon a
Weird to get like Carrie
I think it's going
interacting with the Man in Black. And
no, I mean, no, I think that is what's going to happen.
Oh, cool.
It's not going to just be
the fire starter.
Yeah, intertwining characters and themes from the fictional town of Castle Rock. So it's sort of going to be like Stephen King's Once Upon a Time in a way.
Yeah.
Where all of these characters have a reason to come together. So yeah, in 11/22/63, it wasn't.
Never seen it.
It's fun and intriguing in a way, but I wouldn't call it like blow your mind TV. It's just kind of, I didn't take a whole lot away from it. It's sort of empty calories for me.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with. I just want to have an interesting show.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see Castle Rock.
Number 4. Electric Dreams. Familiar with this?
Punt.
It's, oh, fuck.
We can talk about it now. Like I said, it's not ranked. Go ahead.
Oh, it's not ranked for you?
I didn't rank my TV list. I just have 5 shows.
Philip K. Dick anthology show featuring one Sam Witwer. You familiar with this? Did you know Sam Witwer?
Mm-hmm.
It was not surprising you at all here. You know what? I wouldn't have given a shit about this outside of the fact that I watched the trailer for it and I thought it looked really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I thought it looked beautiful. Thought it looked intriguing. Yeah, that's really all.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything Philip K. Dick really has done in the his properties in the past, they're always intriguing. I've watched a ton of stuff that he's influenced in the past.
Right.
Minority Report, obviously, Scanner Darkly, Blade Runner.
He's
don't have much to say at the.
I mean, he's a gold mine.
He really is. Yeah.
And
Stephen King.
It's sad that he's no longer with us. Exactly. He's like the science fiction Stephen King, and Minority Report's one of my favorite films ever of all time. And I know that he's just one of those guys. I mean, that's the kind of person you want to sort of helm your TV.
Right.
Sort of in the way that I'm always confident in anything J.J. Abrams does. Anytime something comes out that's been adapted by Philip K. Dick, I'm automatically intrigued because I know that it's just going to be something unique and interesting, especially with science fiction too, because that always gets me hyped. And I just really like the idea for it, so I can't wait for that.
Okay, since you're not ranked, do you want to give another one or?
I'll give another one.
Okay, go ahead.
So Sharp Objects. So the author of Gone Girl, Gillian Flynn.
Never saw it.
This is a series based on another book of hers, and it's being helmed by Jean-Marc Vallée from Big Little Lies.
Yep.
And it's also produced by Jason Blum from Blumhouse. and it's starring Amy Adams. And I'm just really, really excited for that, mainly because I'm so high off of Big Little Lies. And I just
Where will this be?
Huh? HBO.
Okay.
HBO. Yeah, I'm really high off of Jean-Marc Vallée.
Are we getting a True Detective this year?
I don't know if it's this year or not. They just announced Stephen Dorff is cast.
Okay.
I don't know if that means that it's going to be ready.
A blue cigarette?
I don't know if it's going to be ready or not. But anyway, Amy Adams, she's one of my favorite actresses. I just love the entire team behind it. It's about it's a true crime kind of, or it's not a true crime. I'm sorry. It's just a crime drama. She's sort of a psychopath detective. She tried to kill herself, suicidal.
Yeah.
And but she goes back to her hometown to try to solve a murder case for two girls. So
cool.
True Detective meets Big Little Lies.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it. It sounds neat.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. Number 3 for me is Legion season 2. I mean, just a visual masterpiece. I mean,
well, we have to say it. We're company, man.
The fact that it is a superhero sort of property, an X-Men property. It was such a fantastic show to watch. And what sort of bumped it up on this list was why am I forgetting the guy's name that did it?
Noah Hawley.
Noah Hawley had to say, actually, it might have been
Dan Stevens.
It might have been Dan Stevens that said it. He basically made, I think it was Noah Hawley that basically said that in season 1, Legion was walking around a crazy man in a sane world, and in season 2, he's walking around a sane man in a crazy world. Is like, I don't even know what that fucking means, but it sounds dope, and sign me up. And I can't wait to see how Kevin Feige writes Legion into the MCU.
Did you see
where be a great villain for?
Did you see where Bryan Singer's name has been removed from season 2?
Good. Fuck that guy.
You want to know what the reason is?
Um,
it's not the sexual. Oh, I mean, I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Is it because our boy from The Watch had something to do with it?
No. No. The reason was in season 1, he was nothing but a name for the show.
Right.
There was no creative input. Like he apparently did nothing for the show other than he just put his name on it.
Right.
So they just took it off.
Good.
Jay and I, if you guys don't know, we host a recap podcast called Let's Talk Legion, and that appears on the TV Time app. TV Time app is very similar to Stardust, but it's purely for.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but not. But like TV Time is strictly for television,
right? So
it doesn't do movies in the way that Stardust does, but it's also like a message board community. Like it's a tracker of what you watch more so than Stardust is, but you do have the capability of doing reactions. So TV Time is a massive app and platform, and we do Let's Talk Legion for them. And
it's not on the Sight and Sound feed, and we're not 100% sure how it will be.
Season 1.
Yeah, we don't know how Let's Talk Legion will be distributed yet. Yeah. It could be on Sight and Sound, or it could not be.
But season 1 is its own podcast. Right. It was a top 25 podcast on iTunes
there you
last
go.
year.
Yeah.
But anyway, it goes without saying, I'm really, really stoked for this. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I can't wait to see the gang back together. Who was it that blew me away in that show? Danica, was that? What's her name?
I don't remember her name.
Rachel Keller.
There you go.
Why did I say Danica?
I have no idea. What's your next one?
Maniac on Netflix.
Sounds good.
Brought to us by Cary Fukunaga, starring Jonah Hill and Emma Stone, and I think Justin Theroux is in it.
Oh, okay.
It's on Netflix.
I know that guy.
It's about
from Star Wars.
Yeah, from The Last Jedi. He was the Master Codebreaker.
I didn't even see him because I was in the bathroom while that happened.
It's a dark comedy directed by Fukunaga, and did I say Emma Stone?
You did.
I thought I said the wrong Emma. It's based on a Norwegian series of the same name, but it's about two psychopaths who basically dream up this fantasy world. And I think it's really weird that Jonah Hill and Emma Stone will be leading a Cary Fukunaga show
from Superbad
on Netflix.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Like, for some reason, those are two people that I feel like have no business being on Netflix. But then again, Will Smith just had a movie on Netflix, so who knows? It's a massive, like, a huge statement for Netflix for these big stars to start transitioning and to take Netflix more seriously. And it seems like a really cool show. 10 episodes, so it'll be easy to digest too, I think.
Number 2 on my list, Atlanta season 2. It's been a year since we've gotten it. It was my favorite show the year that it came out. And man, if this just isn't the most this is going to be a fantastic year for Donald Glover. Maybe potentially another Gambino album this year. Maybe. Such a funny show, such a smart show, such a creative show. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen in this thing. It's the urban Twin Peaks, if you will. And I'm just so on board with it.
The thing about Atlanta, for those of you who don't know, so Sight and Sound started in October of 2016. And for those 3 months in 2016, we didn't really do like a pop culture crown. But Donald Glover was sort of Sight and Sound's spirit animal.
He would have won the pop culture crown. Just him.
Yeah. He was sort of the podcast spirit animal because we were just so happy with everything he was doing.
About him.
Yeah, and he was killing it. We found out he was casting Lion King at that point. Atlanta was out. We were anticipating the Gambino album. It was just a lot, and we are huge Donald Glover fans, and so yeah, he's sort of always been the talk of the town on Sight and Sound. Atlanta season 1 was fantastic. I remember not even knowing what it was really.
Yeah.
Other than it was just like,
I don't think anybody did for the most part.
He's got a Louis.
The guy from Community.
Yeah.
And Gambino.
And everyone was blown away by it.
Yeah.
It's always exciting. It's sort of like Mr. Robot in the way that like you really just out of nowhere like, I'm gonna give the show a shot, and then everyone and then you really love it, and then the world confirms that it's like just really special, and I think that's kind of cool. So
what's your next one?
That's it.
Oh, okay, you're done.
It was Johnny Versace and Philip K. Dick and Maniac.
My number 1 show that I'm most anticipating this year, Mr. Robot season 4. Everything about this past season was perfect. This was the this was the season that we needed after season 2, even though I don't think too many people watched it. My fucking God, did they do something amazing with this season, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do next. I can't believe the finale was incredible. It took my breath away. There were so many moments that I thought, this is the highlight moment. This is the highlight moment. This is the part everybody's going to be talking about. There were parts where I had my hands on my head. I mean, I haven't reacted to a show like this in so long. And it was just incredible. It was so creative. I thought Sam Esmail killed it. I thought everybody involved with it killed it. And I just can't wait, man. It's great to see Mr. Robot on a throne again, being talked about this much. I think we've missed it. And in a year where we're not going to have so many, we're not going to have a Game of Thrones and all this other stuff to talk about. We need it. We just need it right now.
I'm ashamed of myself for not watching the final 2 episodes. The thing about that is, and I don't think we've actually talked about it, but you have been bugging me to watch it. The problem with Mr. Robot has always been I have to DVR it.
Yeah.
And the DVR's in the living room, which is a TV that I would have to share with my family members. And it's not always easy to take an hour or two to do that.
Right.
But I'll do it tomorrow. I could definitely do it tomorrow, and I will put up a video about Mr. Robot season 3. I'm really, really pumped to do so.
Please do. Kayla's home. I feel like she's going to burst into it.
It's fine. We're almost done. Let's see if we can finish before she gets in here. You can find me on... No. I loved season 3, what I've seen so far. And without having known what happens in the finale, I still agree with pretty much all of your sentiments. Am I going to freak out?
Yes, 100%. 100%. You need to text me your reaction when you're watching it.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Can't wait.
Yeah. This has been a great episode. It's been fun.
Yeah. We're back.
I know, we're back,
baby. Back.
If I had a burp in me right now, I'd do it. You can find me, though, on social media at Jaye Williams. J to the A to the Y to the E. Twitter and Instagram. It's the same for both. Hit me up. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WhatUpSnell. stay tuned. Later this week, we're going to release an after party. Talk more about our Christmas break, maybe what you might get from Sight and Sound here in the future. And we're going to dive deep on some after schmo drama. So if you're into that sort of thing, be on the lookout for the after party coming this week. And plus, we just wanted to give you an after party because it's been a while, but it's a special occasion right out the bat of 2018. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.
I'm trying to burp, but I can't.
Please don't.
Wait. Here it comes. I can't do it. See you later. Bye.